Man, you listening to the I want to say the Urban Sports Team, George. You can tell I've been on today like crazy. You've been listening to All Burgundy and Go Everything. Powered by the Urban Sports Team and Fox Sports Radio 96.9 FM and 1340 AM. Hopewell, Virginia. You can tell when a person don't get any rest. And they just on, they're on.
Like, and they should be listening to the Urban Sports Scene when it's on anyway. Boxing,
I appreciate
Ravens,
you,
Wizards, Nationals, Capitals. You get it all with the Urban Sports
appreciate that, but yeah, you know what? We gotta, so we gotta stay. I gotta stay focused. You know what I'm saying? We gotta stay focused. I'm hoodie rollated today, so that means it's trouble. So I gotta be on. Like I can't be slipping, George. I can't be slipping. But I roll in with my guy George, the homie Glenn. We with this shortly. What's going on, George?
Oh, not too much. I've been neck deep in college basketball and other stuff all day, so I'm looking forward to hearing what Candi has to say because this media don't do it like she does it when it comes to covering the Commanders right now.
George already let y'all know who coming on, so you already know. But you know what? It ain't no real secret. Y'all see the thumbnail, so you already know what time it is. So we ain't saying nothing. He ain't saying nothing you don't know. Put it that way. He ain't saying nothing something you don't know. But you know what? Like George talked about a little bit, it's combine week. It's week. Like that means we close to draft. We close to all of that. Workouts. We close to all of that. So hey, before we get into all that, we gotta knock out some logistics. Subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and other podcast platforms. Just search All Burgundy and Go Everything. Hit us up on X, IG, and TikTok at ABG_Errything. Also, like our All Burgundy and Go Everything Facebook page. Don't forget to subscribe to our All Burgundy and Go Everything YouTube channel. If you're in the YouTube chat, we accept super chats. Super chats help us support our show. Each super chat will be the super chats will be prioritized over any comments in the chat. So you give us a super chat, we're gonna prioritize that comment in the chat. Man, here is our rundown. Like George mentioned, we'll chat with Bowie TV's Commanders reporter, Candi Waller. She will join us live from Indy, from the Combine, where everything goes down. Let's not waste any time. We got her in the building. What's good? What's going on, Candi?
Hello.
Yeah. Hoodie roll. It's on. Yeah, Paul, you already know. We're here. Candy's here. She's here. She got me into. Matter of fact, I had the Redskin hat. I'm saying this all. We all hoodie now. We all hoodie. What's going on, Candi?
I would actually. Do I have a hoodie with me today?
I'm telling you, hoodies. That's hoodie.
I didn't wear a hoodie.
Folks on hoodie mode.
It's freezing here. It's freezing.
And it's free. It's cold out there.
Yeah. It was like 16 degrees this morning.
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Damn. I ain't know it'd be that cold in Indy. You know
right. Like it's been wild.
Santiago, what's good? Where we going? So who else we got here? All right, Santiago and Paul right now. Everybody else, y'all gotta pull up, man. Just put your comments in the chat. We want to see y'all. But yeah, right. Hey, Candi, first off, man, how is Combine life? How is it?
Let me tell you. So, and I think they had talked a little bit about it on NFL Network. It is definitely now starting to be a thing where you're seeing more and more NFL GMs and head coaches not doing Combine media availability.
Really?
So they could be doing a local media availability at their home location or off to the side, but they're not. And some of them are not even here. GMs and head coaches, they're sending their scouts.
Wow.
If you can't do media availability, if there's no scouts, if it's only your scouts, they just do availability and they're like, we're not coming.
Interesting.
So this is an interesting trend. I think we saw it, but it's still for those of us on site.
Yeah.
A little crazy. Like today, I was just like, this is insane. You know what I mean? But shout out to the team is helping to hold everything down. But I was like, oh my gosh. But there's still like, let me give examples, right? Like Dallas didn't do any media availabilities. Brian Schottenheimer didn't. The Rams, I'm talking about GM's head coaches. The Rams didn't. The Jags did not. I feel like Pittsburgh's GM, Omar Khan, he did. Like he did not. Oh, I think my mom is on. She had
nope, sorry.
Yeah.
Hi, Mama Waller.
Hey, Mama Waller.
Hello, Mother.
Hey.
He's like, I guess I see my child on what she does.
All is right with the world. You know, we got routines here. We was off for a week, or some change. So now we got my Waller back. You already know what time it is. Go ahead.
Yes. So, and thank you all so much for always shouting out my parents.
And they better. Hey, I need more too. Y'all, some of y'all slipping. Some of y'all slipping.
I can probably name a few more that weren't here, that weren't, or maybe they did off to the side only for local media. Mm-hmm. My rule is if Howie Roseman's still doing, I'm gonna be with Howie. If Howie Roseman's still doing it, then everybody do it. But I don't think Jim Harbaugh.
Jim didn't do it.
What? Jim didn't do it, but the GM did. The Chargers GM, Joe Horitz, he did, but not Jim Harbaugh. So it's just a couple things. And it's probably, if I look back at it, it's been a very long day. I can give you more examples, but these are still very real examples of GMs and or head coaches of teams who are not doing these things anymore.
Interesting. That's very interesting.
So that is something that needs to be tracked. But I feel like
I have a question then, because the combine used to be the place where a lot of unofficial negotiations with agents for free agency was going to take place. So if there are GMs not, I don't know what that says, that GMs are not even coming, because don't you still want to, even if you're not doing that, don't you still want to kind of see the players, talk to them, have your little timer and all that kind of stuff?
Listen,
hey, Ken, I want you to see this comment before you answer George's question. I think this is dope.
I'd rather listen to Ken. Thank you.
That's dope. All right, go ahead.
Same here, Timothy. Same here, Timothy.
Outside, and one of my teammates in here, they will tell you, they were like, I was like, I got to get to my show. I got to get to the show. Please get me out of here. Because I can get to the business later. I needed to make sure I got in here with y'all.
Appreciate it.
And there's definitely player agents here for sure, because there's players here. Players here. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, and I get sending the scouts. But to your point, George, right? The business, like getting down to business, because you're absolutely right. This was also a hub for free agents. This was also a hub for coaches who hadn't gotten hired yet. Right, like position coaches, assistant coaches, all that. It was a thing. So hey, you heard it here first. If you hadn't heard, they started talking about it, I think, a little bit on NFL Network or ESPN today, about the number of GMs and head coaches that are not attending at all. And if they are attending, they're definitely not doing media availability.
That's crazy.
So something is changing. The tide is changing. And it needs to be called out, you guys. It's not. It isn't even what it was last year, 2 years ago. It's not. So something is up.
Do want to ask? All right. So speaking of fans, we want to know about Washington. We know what they're doing out here in the combine, in these combine streets. So based on Adam Peters' demeanor and conversations at the combine, you have some clips too, and we'll get to those clips whenever you want us to get to those clips. What stands out about how he's approaching this draft compared to what you've seen in the past last season?
Here's what I will say. I've been trying to think it through and just like, y'all know, but I got it. This is the objective part of the job, where I felt like there was a lot of conversation about the current roster, which is fine. Yeah. Not about draft prospects, not about,
Yeah. That makes sense? Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
So I was kind of like not as moved by anything. And I think that's probably, am I using my clues? Yes, 1000%. But it makes me also feel like the changes in coordinator, that there's not a lot more, but there is definitely, obviously, but there's certainly an emphasis on the fact that the scheme was more of the challenge than the talent, which is fine, right? But I didn't get the sense there was just some things, and maybe this is a good time to get into some of those clips, right? Because I can point back to the question around the tight ends, as well as my question as well.
Okay, do you want a question about tight end about Zach Ertz?
Yes.
All right, here goes a question. Here is our discussion about Zachary Ertz.
like that. He's always open. He makes big plays, and he's an incredible guy in the locker room. So that was a big loss when he went down. We'll keep the door open for him for sure. We've had a lot of thoughts with him personally and his agent in terms of just keeping that door open and seeing how he progresses with his injury. But you can't count on anything, right? So we have 4 guys under contract, I think, right now. And we'll look to fill his role with a combination of those guys, but still we have some guys who really have a lot of confidence in there. John Bates has another level to go as a pass catcher. Ben's going to have a really good opportunity in this offense to show his versatility. Colson's a really athletic guy who can help in the passing game. Lawrence Cager, we're really excited about him. I think his ability to help in the passing game. So with that group, we feel really good, but we wouldn't be opposed to having her.
And that's what he had to say about that situation.
About damning with faint praise.
Yeah, I have God dang. See, like Zach Ertz ain't gonna
he's not gonna move people. I mean, he's not. I mean, we know that the door is open. And not to cut you off. Absolutely, 1000% the door. We know this. I know this. That is not. Hey, Debbie. We know facts on top of facts. The door is facts on top of facts. It's open for Zach Ertz. They're not gonna close the door on Zach Ertz. They're just not. Not only because they're just not gonna close the door on Zach Ertz, and that was a security blanket. That's Jaden Boyd. They're not gonna close the door, And I know you gotta say those things, but I was just kind of like, and I will share this before we get into the next clip because I think we probably really want to talk about my question about the wide receiver group. And did I think? And I don't know if you start this question about.
Right here. I did. I got it right here.
I got one question about Zach Ertz.
Hold on, George. Hold on, George. Let her finish her statement real quick.
But I think there was a podium question about Brandon Ayuk and like second chances, and he made a comment like,
I heard that.
Second chances are deserved. You got to earn a second chance, And I don't cover that today. I'm GM of this team, so I don't know. I don't know what's going on, everybody. Because today I was kind of like, well, what is going on? Here's what I'll say, like about the kicker. Can I talk about the kicker? Because we ran out of time, but I did spend a little bit of time with Adam after, and I need to post that, but I spent some time with Adam after, and I made a joke. I probably should have made a joke. This is me being very transparent. I should not have made this joke as media and just being cool with Adam. I should have made this joke, which was, hey, listen, what y'all gonna do about kicker? You cycle through enough, I would try out if you like to pay me. That is what I said, and I shouldn't have. I probably should have said that. But at any rate, I absolutely said it, and I'm being real honest. I shouldn't have said it. Don't know if that went over well. But they definitely want to bring back Jake Moody. Certainly want to bring back Jake Moody. And if they have competition, sounds like they're absolutely open to competition for Jake Moody. So I think that is a very important point to bring up to you guys, because that is something that came up with. And me being also very transparent, that I'm like, hey, I'm very personable and funny, but I don't know if you found that funny.
I like you. Hey,
I thought it was funny.
Everyone knows I'm a moody person, so it's all good.
Yeah, like, if you want to pay me, I'll try, but it's probably not going to help. You'll be in the same situation.
So, George, you want to ask Candi something, right?
About Zach Ertz, because I had this thought. Do you bring him back so because he's going to be rehabbing and he's not going to be available till who knows when? Do you bring him back to coach the other guys, essentially?
I don't know about coaching them, but I mean, he made a comment too, and I know I have the clip here, and we can probably go into the clip after I say this, Wale, which is he was like, but we can't depend on that. So I want to be clear on this. Like, they're absolutely acknowledging his skill set and understand you can't really quantify it because it is a special skill set, right? And I mean, we went into all of that previously. I'm sorry, but like they got to look at somebody for free agency. They understand. I think he gets that.
Yeah,
he also wanted to acknowledge, right? He went through the names, right? He went through John Bates, Ben Sinnott, right? Colson Yankov, Lawrence Cager. He went through the 4 that they have. And I think it's a very, very important point that he mentioned Lawrence Cager, right? Because he did, again, even in my question, he also references practice squad players and those that didn't get, right? So that's a Lawrence Cager situation that people did not see here at all. So he's still like naming the 4 that they have, right? He talks about Zach. The door is absolutely open for Zach, but they understand they can't depend on that. So when they say they can't depend on that, I think that's where, okay, maybe that's the clue to free agency.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say this before we go into the next clip, but the next clip's gonna like really put me over the edge. But like this clip, but this one is kind of put me semi over the edge because at the end of the day, like we as you get older, it's tough to come back from injuries regardless. When you blow your ACL, that is almost like a death sentence to be even as close as you need to be at this age. Younger, you got folks like, all right, I'll give you an example. We had like in his youth, and he's playing better football now, but in his youth, my guy likes him. Chase Young blew his knee out. He's just getting back to being himself.
He's just getting back to himself.
So I'm just telling you, like you in your third, you're not in your third. You're not gonna. It ain't gonna happen anytime soon. You can't wait on you really can't. To his point, you can't wait on that. To Adam Peters' point, you really can't wait on that because it's not gonna. It's not like this dude is. I mean, waiting 2 years. By that time, it's another couple years in the game where he's almost ready to retire. So, like, you got to be tapped into free agency. Like, I get that. I mean, you do want to acknowledge the work that Zach Ertz has done for this organization during this regime. So you do acknowledge it, but I don't think that it should be something that folks should look at in Zach Ertz as a person that's going to help this team in 2025, 2026. Because 2026, 2027, because it shouldn't be, and nobody knows one's body, but it's damn near impossible. It's damn near impossible, to be real with you. In terms of being practical, it's damn near impossible. So if anybody in that organization is relying on that, then I would have a big issue with that because I think you should be tapped into free agency. You should be trying to. I know somebody mentioned Kyle Pitts. He's got franchise, which I mean he's a tight end. He's supposed to be like tight ends. The franchise of tight end is like cheap, because they don't get wide receiver money. They just don't. And so I know Pitts is off but you got Likely from Baltimore who's out there who I feel like is a player that is what you need. There are other players out there, so there's other players you can draft one too. So like, but yeah, I wouldn't look in this situation if you don't believe in Ben Sinnott. A lot of people, it seems like some folks don't. It is what it is. Then you better hit free agency because I don't want any excuses for Jaden. Like I think you better give Jaden all the ability, all the talent in the world, and no excuses for Jaden. I think Jaden is a good find, but I don't want to put Jaden behind the 8-ball with guys you feel that can step up. Because it kind of goes to the next question, the next clip that you have about wide receivers. I want to play that.
When you look at the wide receiver group, so outside of Terry, you all locked him in last year. What else are you all looking for to do there, or where you all stand now?
Yeah, we have Terry, and then we have a couple guys we drafted, and Luke and Jalen, who we're really, really excited about taking a big jump. Luke took a really big jump last year, and in terms of a lot of different ways. And unfortunately, his year was cut short. And then Jalen was awesome on special teams. I think he's got another level to go as a receiver. And so I think there's going to be a lot of cool opportunities for both of those guys moving forward and just moving them around in this offense with David. He's got a really good vision for those guys. And then obviously, we have some younger guys that are more practice squad type guys last year who we hope will make a big jump this year. But it's room we definitely want to add.
All right, hold on. I'm about to let me remove this clip now. All right. So
I can feel the hate throwing through CWall to Sith. He's like a Sith Swole. He's about to just...
Full disclosure.
Go for it.
I alerted Wole.
She did. I ain't know it was going to be. It sounds worse. It sounds worse.
He had to talk, and I told him.
It sounds worse. It's worse than I thought.
Okay, and I respect that because this is live TV. This is a Bowie TV. All ready to go partnerships. This is like live. And so I tried to explain it as best as I could. But I was like, well, Lay, you're not going to be happy with this. Like, and this is why I bring clips, right?
Yeah.
Because I can tell you and I could paraphrase probably, right? And I could read the transcript to you, but you have to hear it. You have to see. I believe in visuals. I can tell you, but I believe in visuals and everything. It's very important. And I did my best to warn Wole. And when I saw the hoodie Wole, I said, yeah, Wole done seen this clip.
Full screen Wole. Paul, I ain't going full screen. I gotta respect people on this show.
You're probably not going full screen because I'm on here and Jordan
I ain't going. No, I'm not going full screen it. But I do want to share my thoughts though. I knew he was going to be upset, y'all. I was like, Wole, I just need to ask because I felt like my question was valid. Of course, it was valid. It was a good question. I mean, I have so many questions, but I could just like the vibe. Let me just go back to this and Wole definitely. Yeah, please.
I was just like, I don't feel like I'm learning. We're not learning anything. Like I want to, this is draft. This is combine. I want to talk about the prospects. I want to talk about what's going on. But I also want to talk about, if we're going to go along the lines about who you got in the current roster, because we've been hearing a lot about that. When I've gone back and I've listened to the coordinator press conferences a few times now, right? Which leads me to believe, you all really believe it was a matter of the scheme. Which in some areas, it's a balance, right? In some areas, wholeheartedly agree. Other areas, I don't know. But when it comes to the offense in this wide receiver group, right? Yeah. Y'all know I've been left the running backs alone because I've been said that was scheme. I had a challenge with that last season. I'm okay with that. Figure out whoever you got to keep, Chris Rodriguez, whatever. They weren't used, adequately. Tight ends. If you felt that strongly about Lawrence Cager, maybe you should have brought him up. I don't know, but I'm just, here, but that's his last year. But I'm just saying, wide receiver group was a big deal. It is a big deal. It is.
It's a very big
for
deal.
JD5. Yep. Absolutely huge. So I'm like, I gotta ask this question because right now, if we're being honest, Terry. That's it. And that's why I asked the question in the manner that I did. Not to belittle anybody or take anybody away for anybody that's watching TV, social media, YouTube, whatever. I was not trying to belittle anybody, but what I was trying to do was ask the question in a way, you got Terry locked in. What else from the wide receiver group? Because I wanted to know. And now at the very end, he did look at me, you all. I want to be clear. He did look at me and say, but we know that's a room we got to add to. Okay. But you didn't name anybody that we've seen thus far as a potential add. That's all. I mean, Jalen Lane, yes. Yeah, sure. But that's like a special teamer. Right. But I just, and I'm going to be quiet because I knew Wole was not going to like it. I told him, I said, Wole, hey, listen, I had to tell you something because I asked this question and I told him, you're not going to like the answer. You're not going to like the answer.
First, I want to say this real quick. Like, hey, Jeremy, this you in the chat? Like, I can't tell. When I saw the Wegmans comment, Jeremy, Jeremy, you said the Wegmans comment. I couldn't tell. Jeremy, if you back, man, I appreciate you, my guy. All right, now let me go. No, let me go for real.
You said,
all right. Yeah, man. Yeah, what's up, Jeremy? What's going on, buddy? All right, so now let me go. I have an issue with like the names he named. Like, we're not doing this, right? Like, we're not doing this. Like, I hope you playing stupid just for like the whole draft thing. Like, I hope he's just saying it just to say it. Because I'm cool with trying to keep your cards in your pockets. I'm cool with that. Like, if that's the case, that's the case. But what we not going to do is throw names just to throw names out there. One, Jalen Lane is, and I like Jalen Lane a lot. But all Jalen Lane showed me last year was he's a good return man. We are not doing that. We are not doing that. Secondly, you're going to keep mentioning Luke McCaffrey. He's had a couple of good catches. Praise to him, all that good stuff. Beautiful, awesome, amazing, great for him. Continue to get better, my guy. I hope the best for you. You came out and said that Jayden finds Luke McCaffrey. Jayden found Luke McCaffrey like once. Jayden don't look for Luke McCaffrey. We're not going to do this. All right. We're not. Luke got his work with Marcus Mariota. Jayden don't be looking for Luke. He don't be checking for Luke. We seen it. We're not going touchdown with Marcus Mariota. You're right. Touchdown Luke with Marcus Mariota. Jayden no check for him. All right. So that whole Luke McCaffrey thing is done. Like, yo, the dude that showed out, you didn't even mention him. That's what bothers me. Like, Treylon Burke showed out, and you don't even mention him. Nah, we're not doing that. We're not doing that, Adam. Like, Luke is fine. Move him around, he's fine. But if you're telling me who I saw with more potential between McCaffrey and Treylon Burke, I'm talking about Treylon. I'm like, yo, Treylon. Yeah, I'm excited to have Treylon around. We saw what he can do. Luke ain't gonna be Luke McCaffrey and Jalen Lane, the first two dudes I'm talking about. I ain't talking about Jalen Lane like that. I like Jalen. I ain't talking about Luke McCaffrey like that. I'm gonna talk about Treylon Burke though. You ain't gonna mention Treylon? What are we doing here? Yeah, you're right. He didn't draft him. Exactly. No, I don't care if you didn't draft him. You signed him though. That was a good sign by you. I'm giving you credit. You signed him.
And I feel like I mean, he found him, but I felt like I was the person on the media that found him. I was like, yo, everybody, I'm watching this guy. And everybody was like, what you mean? What you mean? And I was like, I ain't saying nothing.
Jeremy, yeah.
Dude, he lit. He's very, very good. He's good.
Jeremy, I'm with you.
I was the first person on the beat that was like, yo, Treylon Burks, y'all. I think they got him one. Adam doesn't. He redeeming himself. He done found him one. And
I want to get Jeremy. Yeah, let's keep it Jeremy. Let's keep it a buck. Luke was a favorite of C-Mac. It seems like it because you mentioned him first. He's like the first one you mentioned. Like you don't mention the dude that everybody was like Dan Quinn after the season was done mentioned Treylon Burke. All these dudes mentioned Treylon Burke. What are we doing here? What are we doing here, dog? That's all I'm saying. Oh yeah, you getting props. Candi said you did. I heard you on. Yeah.
Yes, I did. I was like, yo, because I tweeted it, and I remember like even y'all was like, "What you see?" And I was like, I spent my entire. He made me look. Remember, I used to play the game. Yeah. Well, like you know this from being in church. Yeah. I said, well, like I be playing a game. I just be looking around. I be chilling, minding my business. If somebody make me look, I'm gonna start looking. Yeah, paying attention, like what's going on here, even if it's bad. Yeah, remember that's how I figured out Jahan was gonna get traded. Remember I told you? Yeah. I was looking at package what they was like. Wait. Something ain't going right over here. Let me pay attention to this. Oh, I don't think Jahan gonna last. So once I realized, it's like this works. This game works, good or bad. This game works. Traylon off the rip.
Look good.
He had me at hello. He had me. I was like, yo, somebody else watching this. No one else was paying attention to Treylon. And I was like, dude, I'm not gonna stay here by myself and I'm gonna break this news myself. Yeah. Dude, he good.
I feel you. I just want to be if Luke McCaffrey was named was Luke Burks, y'all wouldn't care. That's my point. You wouldn't care. All right, I'm gonna be real.
I did all I could do was my good citizens. Like I felt like when the answer came through, I felt like I had got a jury duty notice. I said, hey. I said, you even felt like you got jury duty. I said, I got to tell Wole.
I'm just saying. Upset. Luke be open though. Luke be open where, man? He be open where? Like 7-Eleven stay open, man. Where be open at, bro? Where he be open, bro? Like everybody says that. No, be open, man. Like everybody says he be open. Like if he be open, he would be like the best wide receiver ever because he always open. So you telling me Jayden can't find him? Is that what we're doing? Jayden can't find him. Jayden.
It wasn't good. I just knew that I knew it wasn't going to go over well.
You're killing me, bro. You're killing me.
And I was like, oh, but I know I know I've built relationships enough to know that when he looked at me in the end and said, he was acknowledging that he understood my question. It was a couple things that I believe in how I've learned Adam over these last couple of years. And it is, he absolutely was going to talk about, I acknowledged Terry. That's it. And that's why I said, Terry, you locked him in. What else? Or what you got? He was going to acknowledge the draft picks.
Yeah.
Right? But then he went to the practice squad and everything else. But then he looked at me and said, but that is the room we need to add to. So I feel like, okay, this is either going to be free agency or perhaps another draft pick. I don't know. So let's keep that in the back of your mind. Use your clues. Definitely free agency or a draft pick. We'll see. But he knew what I was getting at. He knew, right? It's like, it's the question because I'm still like future. I understand the current roster, but I'm still wired to this time of year. Understanding that free agency is coming up, but that is a room. That is a room that needs to be redone. We know this, you guys. And I know there's been a thousand ton of emphasis on defense, rightfully so. But that wide receiver room is something that needs to be discussed.
I want to read this comment. I get your point here too. Do y'all really think they don't understand that they need more than 3 wide receivers? Of course. You should be upset if he says something that you want to hear. Because that means they're giving away critical information. I agree with that. I agree with that point. I'm not saying that. Yeah, right? I'm not. Yeah,
he looked at me and he looked at me at the end. If you go back and watch that clip, I think he caught the whole clip, and he looks at me and said, "But we know that's a room we need to add to."
Yeah, I'm not saying that though. That's not what I'm saying. Like, look, I'm not saying. I know he's going to add more receivers. I'm not. That's not whatever. I'm just saying you ain't mentioned Treylon Burke. You gonna mention Luke McCaffrey and not Treylon Burke? That's where I'm at. Like,
I left it open to Terry so that he could.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm not saying that they're not going to add it. I know that.
Guys. You mentioned the practice squad guys.
I know the practice. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, come on, man. Like, you ain't holding no secrets to mention like, oh yeah, we like Treylon Burke. That's not doing anything special. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Because obviously that's on his mind. Like, those dudes were on his mind, and Treylon Burke is not on his mind. And I think Treylon Burke is better than them dudes. Real talk. I think he's better than them dudes. All right. Samaje Be Good on IG said, I hope we draft wide receiver Malik Benson to take the top off the defense.
It's something. I mean, when he looked at me at the end, he was acknowledging, yes, you got me. Like, that is the area we will see something shake this. Well, I don't want to say something shake. We will see something happen. That's all.
And can Samaj Be Good say hello, Candi? Always good to see you. Always great to see you.
Hello.
Can I sort of build upon what Samaj is talking about and ask this question? Because one of the big things I saw today is that apparently Alec Pierce is not going to make it to free agency either. Like, the Colts are going to lock him up, and a lot of Washington fans were talking about him.
Yeah, really?
Given that this free agent class for the wide receivers isn't that great, do you think Washington's got to consider Jordan Tyson at 7?
Well, Jordan Tyson isn't working out. He's got hamstring issues. So here's the thing. You. Arizona State, Jordan Tyson. Yes, because I'm tracking everybody. Because let me tell you, I said this before. I didn't realize how much the Commanders spoiled me. I've had to admit this. The Commanders spoiled me, y'all. I can admit it now to everybody who's watching this live. I was spoiled last year. I was. Because I came here, they didn't even have that many draft picks. But after that, what happened, the recalibration, I was like, shoot, I was here, and I did the head coach and GM media availabilities, but I only did the Commanders. I didn't do other coaches and all that. Yeah, I didn't do a whole lot of the draft prospects because I'm like, they got it figured out. I ain't even, now, after what happened this season, I'm like, wait a minute, right? So now I'm back in the thrust of draft and prospects and what people are saying and which teams are looking at who and all that. And it helps because Bowie TV covers the Commanders and the Ravens. So you get a feel and because the Ravens are historically known for how they draft, how they evaluate draft prospects, and you get to learn more there. You get to see and feel, and really understand in real time the differences. And I'm like, so, there's a couple, I posted a couple of draft prospects, and there's several, right, that have been consistently tied to the Commanders, and they've been consistently tied to a wide receiver. Tate, they've consistently tied
Ohio State.
And so, yes. And so it's I don't know. I'm not saying that that's 7 to your point, George. What I am saying is how he answered my question and acknowledging, right? If you went to Terry, well, I said Terry, You went to who you drafted and acknowledged that David Blau has some good plans on offense for those two. So that means that Jalen Lane will absolutely play both roles. That means Luke McCaffrey will because remember he was on special teams as well, right? It's a kick return. So he's going to operate in both roles. They're going to be involved in the offense. That also means when you look at me and say, we know that's a room we need to add to, that means you talked about your practice squad players that you're excited about. I think it's a question about who's not on the card. We got practice squad.
Right.
Okay.
You're right.
And so
I'm with it. I just want these people who say like
go over well. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I know. Look, folks are saying it, and Seneca, I always appreciate you because you always pull up, so I appreciate you. So this is not me. I make sure I respect your opinion. And you're right. I'm not gonna lie to you. My only issue with that is there's ways to answer every question in life. That's all I'm gonna tell you. Like watch me do this about Treylon Burke when we after naming those receivers that he decided to name for some strange reason. Like, yeah, Treylon, we're still looking into maybe hopefully bringing Treylon Burks back onto this team. He made a lot of plays for us. He showed a lot of potential, and that's all you got to say. That's all you got to say. That's all. That's not messing up any bargaining stuff because Treylon Burke is not like everyone in their mom is trying to obtain Treylon Burke. They know what he is. He's a former first round pick. You know who he is in terms of his talent and ability. You've already scouted him. He's a former first round pick. All I'm just saying, like, you chose violence. That's all I'm saying. You chose violence. That's all. That's what it is.
I didn't know what to go over well.
Yeah, that's all. I'm not saying that you. Yeah, I'm just saying you're right under contract, but if you want somebody back, I'm just saying there's ways you can say something. That's all without saying like we definitely like you're not committing to anything. You know free agency is a thing, but you could be like, we saw the development of Treylon Burke. We would love to have him back. He's not in the contract, and that's it. That's all. But you chose Luke McCaffrey. You chose violence. Like you chose this. You chose Jalen Lane to say this. Again, we know that that's not the end all be all. But I'm just saying, if I'm gonna mention, put it this way, for me, if I'm gonna mention those two, I'm definitely mentioning Treylon Burke. I'm finding a way to mention them. I just ain't. Because I'm not gonna like just leave on that. Because I don't want to like, and honestly, I'm be real with you, not to sound like a jerk. But I don't feel like I need to insult the public, you know what I'm saying, by saying stuff like we got this, that, and the other when people got to see for themselves in terms of what those roles will be for those said players. Like you're not going to look at those players as complementary pieces to a Terry McLaurin. You know what I mean? Like that. Like you gotta, you need something better. You know what I'm saying? Because not mentioning Debo because you really don't have any, you have, the way the reports are, like chances are you're not re-signing Debo. So I kind of get it. Like you don't want to waste your time. But like, so if you're telling me that you're not re-signing Treylon Burke, that's like pretty much the route you're going with, then that's a whole different discussion, in my opinion.
Because I think the hard truth is there's not a wide receiver 2 or 3.
Yes.
In the way the question is answered,
that's the problem. Yes.
It would be assumed
that they're in the
2 is Luke and the 3 is Jalen Lane. And
exactly.
I don't think that is accurate.
I just think you gotta insult your audience. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Like, you don't gotta insult your audience. I get what you're saying, but you don't gotta insult your audience.
Yeah. There's like if we're being totally objective, if I'm being asked, if you ever ask me, but I'm being proactive in sharing my thought process. Like, listen, there's not a 2 and a 3.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
But the way it's answered is if there is a 2 and a 3, because that's what you said. You brought another 2 people that you did, and I'm like, but he said there's adding room. So what I'm assuming,
there's no need that.
The additions are the 2 and the 3.
Yeah, to post. I don't think there's need. There isn't for this situation. There's no need to act like it's a secret. We know what they need.
Yeah.
We know what they need.
It needs to be said out loud.
Yeah, and also, like to be honest with you, to your point,
yes, I asked the question because it was an area that nobody was addressing. I've asked that throughout the season about the wide receiver group. This is the thing; it's a big deal. And Terry and who else?
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not even fair. Like, it's not. All I'm saying is, like, I mean, we all know this is the fact. Like, we want it to. We want this. Whatever they do in this offseason. And like that's why I'm like more inclined to say like talking about players you do have. I'd rather you talk about like say that there are good prospects out there that maybe we were interested to bring, on this team.
Or
Rather than talking about,
I hear you. Let me be real. That's why I gave you the heads up. I hear you, Ole, because it becomes if there is a free agent or somebody that did play on your squad last year that you are looking and you want to keep, then this maybe even time to say that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. All I'm saying is like, and also like, I don't know. But again, you know what? He could be like, I think Skin saying like, what did he say here? He said, this discussion that is pointless right now because either option is speculation or at best. Clearly, they will add other receivers, not mentioning.
He said that, but I already knew. He said that at the very end. He said that.
I mean, we already know that. Like, I'm not. Yeah, I agree with that.
We know that's, but I still want to hear because you got to hear it. I mean, that's the way that you confirm what you're talking about.
I mean, I'm all about wordplay. That's all. It's not about like what I think. It's a wordplay. That's all I'm just saying. I'm not
wordplay, and I want to hear where your mind is.
Like, you would be.
I knew it wasn't gonna go.
Yeah, I just think like it would be asinine to believe. To be real with you, if you're a high level GM to go into a situation for anybody to feel like, all right, Luke McCaffrey is going to be your like. I'm not even put Jay. I'm not going to Jay Lane being your number 2. Like Luke McCaffrey being your third, even your third receiver. It's asinine. I'm sorry. I'm not going to even lie to y'all. Like, that shouldn't be a thing. Luke McCaffrey should not be your third receiver.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm like. I think the way the question was answered. I mean, I know I asked, but I left it Terry and I left
No, I get you. You're right. You're definitely right.
Yeah.
I'm saying like.
No, you phrased it the correct way.
Yeah, you did it perfect. No, Candy, you did it perfectly. I'm repeating.
I'm just making sure. Like,
you're good. No, I'm responding to what people think. What my thought process is. That's not all. Sure. My thought process isn't like, oh man, they're definitely going to have these two. No, I'm not saying that. That's the way he like what he put out there is more my thing. It's not about whatever. Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
I mean, the answer concerned me because
it would make you think that's.
No, I feel like that's GM talk. I'm just saying, like, I'm not gonna lie to you. Personally, I just don't like that. This is me, so I'm gonna everybody know this. Personally, I don't like him mentioning them dudes before he mentioned Treylon Burke. That's just my opinion.
That's the thing, but that's
it. That's my overall argument thing. That's it. That's it for me. That's it for me.
I already knew what it was.
Yeah, that's it for me. So I'm gonna let y'all know that's where I'm at. Hey, imagine if he had let De'Ami walk, and
that is what I share with Wole, to be completely transparent, because that's what I pride Bowie TV's coverage on, my professional coverage on is authenticity. That's what I told Wole. I said, I think I know what he meant, but you're not gonna like the way he answered this question.
I don't think you need to be.
That's the way it sounds based on what I asked and the way he answered it.
All right, we got some comments, some more comments from Samaj B. Good said, I hope we draft Antonio Williams. He's a route running menace from Clemson. I gotta check him out. Also, please draft Ruben Bain at 7. But if he's not there, we gotta get Jeremiah Love. That's like an overarching thing.
You know what is a crazy? So let me tell you a couple of scenarios that I've been hearing.
Go for it.
Which is crazy, right? Because I mean, like, because I think it's because it's not a quarterback heavy draft.
Yeah.
It's just you don't know what's gonna happen beyond one. Like, you really don't.
Mm-hmm.
You like legit don't know what's gonna happen.
I agree with that.
Right. And so it's like I've even heard people say Bailey or Bain could fall to the teams, like past top 10, because you don't know, right? That's one scenario. I'm not saying that I ain't saying that's what's going to happen, but I'm just saying that's what I'm hearing already. Something here. The other thing is people are like, don't care what you need, get Jeremiah Love, and you figure everything else out later.
Yeah.
It's like overall.
That's me.
Then, given the Commanders' perspective, it's just like the Commanders just need to draft best available.
That's me too.
Best available, and your defensive holes, get them on free agency.
Yeah, whatever that is.
These are the 3 things that I've been hearing. Recurring now. I've been hearing a lot of stuff, but I'm talking about like consistent themes of what I've been hearing. And I'm just like, this is wild. Like, this is so wild.
I mean, given the news that's been coming out about some of these guys who are now not going to hit free agency, this doesn't look like a great free agent class for offense. And I've heard people say this about the draft class, and I kind of agree with them. The offensive talent at the top is good, but there's a big fall off there too.
Yeah.
So I mean, I feel like that puts a lot of pressure on Adam Peters to because it's like we need a lot of help on offense and defense, but we need a lot of help on
Good night,
offense.
Mama Waller.
And it doesn't look like there's a lot of help out there right now. Good night, Mama Waller.
Mm-hmm.
Like I get like hold on, Baines is a no go. Man, y'all be sleeping on
so
that.
I had
Y'all sleeping on
my arms thing, and I'm like, okay, but yes, 2 to 10 is fluid. It's lying. Like this is this is. I mean, I've been in the sports industry game 9 years. It's my 4th year. Somebody said, "You've been here 5 years." Maybe I'm playing the 5th year, but 4 years in the combine, like in the trenches, like for real.
Yeah.
These chess moves, these chess conversations, and I'm just really getting like this is Tuesday. So by Thursday, it's gonna be like really, it's crazy. And then of course there's still pro days after this, right? And so I'm like, this is wild what's going on right now. And then you hear, and I say it's wild what's going on right now because you got to hear the rest of the media, you hear everybody else, but they're asking coaches and GMs, and I'm like, yo, everybody is on the same type of time.
Yeah.
I want to say that I think a lot of that same type of time is because of what everybody watched in the Super Bowl. For both teams, actually, from a defensive perspective.
That's balling.
And then what Mike McDonald himself did as the first defensive play caller and head coach that won the Super Bowl. Like people are, I don't know what I have no idea what's going to happen. This is like chess. It is chess, and I don't like this is okay. I got to put a different thinking cap on with these people, but they themselves do.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is going to be very, very interesting. And I think it's because it's not a quarterback heavy draft. Everybody is a quarterback heavy, quarterbacks is not.
Yeah, I think that I think Bain will slip. I think Bailey will. I think Bailey will. I think Bailey will. I think Bailey won't slip. I think Bailey won't slip. I think Bain will slip because of the narrative about this short arm thing.
Yeah,
I think
that will. Lot of that talk about one of them going to slip.
So I think he'll slip, and I do think you'll get an opportunity to get a defensive dog. If you want a defensive dog, but I'm like you, Candi, the thought process you put out there, best available. Because I feel like Love is like the best prospect.
Whoever.
I think Love is the best prospect, and if Love slips to you, you can't deny it because he's just the best prospect to me. But everybody else, everybody talks about Tate. This is not a knock on Tate. Tate's a good receiver. I don't think he's a bad receiver. He went to Ohio State. They got good receivers. But when you got Smith on the other side, I don't know how good you are. I don't know how good you are.
Exactly.
Smith is so dominant in Ohio State. So everyone's worried about Smith. You're getting one-on-one coverage. So I don't know how dominant you are as a quote unquote elite wide receiver if you're getting you're getting single coverage. Everybody, if you watch college football, everybody game plans for Jeremiah Smith. Period. He is the one. He is the one.
Arguably the number one wide receiver since he
for 2 years. Since he got there. Since he to the college. So
Sonny Styles.
Yeah, Sonny Styles is that's a good one.
Is winning the hearts.
Yeah, he is.
Everybody. He's winning the hearts of everybody. Sonny Styles.
Mm-hmm. So to your point, I'm just saying there's a lot of good there are a lot of good defensive players that'll be on the market, but yeah, I just want them to get the best player available. I just can't wait till that opportunity happens when we get to see some of these players. We get an opportunity to see the players work out and do their 40 or whatnot, or do their any type of defensive drills. But yeah, I'm just I'm it's hard. Obviously, Peters is talking, GM talk. He's not trying to put everything out there. But we'll see. We'll see. But I do think wide receiver is something else. But there was another question about getting faster, right? We're speaking of speed. I think Paul said 40 time. GM Adam Peters had something to say about that as well.
Team in the league last year. How important is it to get significantly younger, or do you still see that experience advantage being sort of an issue?
Yeah, I don't think that's going to be the driver of anything, Ben, in terms of what we did and what we're doing. Certainly, I said this at the end of the year, we're going to try to get younger and faster, and that's still going to be a goal. But there is a lot of value in having a good mix of youth and experience that's not lost on us. And certainly, if there's a tiebreaker, you want to try to get younger and faster and usually there's a lot of things that go with that too. You lose some experience and leadership, but you also probably get a few things in other categories. So, but that was our goal, and still will be our goal. But we're not. Doesn't mean we're just going to go all young guys either. There's good players that can help us that are a little older, then we'll certainly consider those guys too.
So, let me remove this. I'm sorry, remove this. So, yeah, Candi, what did you get from that? From that comment from Adam?
So here's what I got. I feel like when the comment was initially made in the exit, the end of year press conference, it was assumed they were just going to go straight younger, like they weren't going to have any veterans. I think that Coach Durante Jones made it clear, like he sees that there are young and athletic pieces already on this roster. And I think Ben may have been the one that asked again about, veterans, certain veterans, but, Coach Jones made it like pretty general, like, hey, you got to have veterans. Who's going to teach the young guys, right? Because coaching is one thing, in game, on film, some of this stuff is different in the moment, and just the style, the discipline, the film study, knowing what you can see, knowing what you were seeing, and all of those things that comes from veterans. So what they're basically, I think they're saying is you cannot expect that this team will not have veterans.
Yeah, of course not. Yeah,
right. There will be veterans,
of
folks.
course.
So they're trying to dispel that myth, or maybe based on things that were said previously, that it was going to be like all young players are all like under 25 or under 27 or 20 years. That's not going to happen. It's not.
Yeah, I think. Go.
That's not going to happen. And it's based on the who, right?
Yes.
Who they want teaching them, based on what they want them to do. And what we know they want them to do is they want them to be good humans of excellent character, right? They want them to be able to be smart, very intellectual, right? Film study, all those things, and be healthy and be able to be durable, longevity in their careers. Who are the veterans that can teach them that, right? And it doesn't mean they're going to take 100% of the snaps going forward, but they need those bodies in the building to help these guys figure these things out and know what to do, because it's a certain thing. It's a practical thing. Let me also share this, that I think is a very important point too. It goes back to the coordinators. Overall, across the league, I don't know if anybody is still concerned, like, and this is me jumping to like offense or David Blau real quick. No one else should be concerned about the age.
Of David Blau.
Wow.
Okay.
Because this is like a thing. Declan Doyle with the Ravens, he's 29. You know what I mean? Like, this is now a thing, because now what I think some of the old guard or more seasoned guard, if you will, is understanding is they can't relate to some of these players. So even their teaching styles and how they communicate, they need a younger voice. So I think that, yes, they're going to get younger, but keep all those things in mind about what it means to get younger. It could be coaching staff, it could be coordinators, it could be players as well. But the seasoned veterans from both the coaching and player perspective is going to be essential. We all watched the Washington Commanders do almost a perfect 180 on their season. Now, here's something else I will tell you all. Around the league, it is Cliff Kingsbury got dealt a bad hand. And Cliff Kingsbury got dealt a bad hand because Jaden Daniels was injured. It's true, depending on how you look at it, right? But I'm gonna
I got a problem with that, but
I'm gonna go back to the
What's
point.
good, Glenn? I was gonna say what's up to Glenn. What's good, Glenn?
Glenn.
What's up, Glenn?
But I'm gonna go back to the
You on
point.
mute, Glenn? Go ahead.
I'm gonna go back to the point of scheme.
Go for it. Go for it.
If it is believed that the record ended up being as bad as it was, and perhaps certain injuries, I ain't labeling nobody, but if certain injuries happen because of scheme, then that is why both of your coordinators are
on.
Nick, can you hear me now? Y'all got me now?
Yeah, you got some feed though, Glenn. Little feed.
All right, how about now?
That's better. Way better. Way better.
Okay,
go ahead.
Cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, Glenn, do you have something you want to ask, Candi?
The 180, I said the 180.
Yeah.
But when I'm talking to people about the 180 and just what's happening, the first thing I get is Cliff Kingsbury got dealt a bad hand.
Yeah, but yeah.
Glenn,
And then you know, but then there's other things, but that is still a resounding, because I don't know if y'all saw it or not. Yes, I knew he was on the Rams staff, but I did not know he was the assistant head coach of the LA Rams. I didn't know that.
How much?
I don't know. I tend to think Cliff
Glenn.
made his own bad luck.
Go, Glenn.
How much do people? I know I came in a little late. How much do players really do believe that Cliff got dealt a bad hand?
Oh no, this ain't players. I said the league. So when I
the league,
you gotta understand, because of my interfacing, that's a lot of people. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you this: he's the assistant head coach behind Sean McVay.
No, I'm gonna be real with you. I said this before.
Okay,
man.
That is humongous.
Let me add this for Cliff. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think Cliff did a bad. Like last year, he did a bad job last year to me. But that's neither here nor there. That's neither here nor there. But I will say, in terms of public opinion and the move, like everybody was talking about, he should do this, he should do that. Cliff picked this, the best move period he can make, for real. Like, and this is why, because it's going to change. He's going to be under Sean McVay, regardless of if he learns something, regardless if you're right, he should learn, right? Or regardless if he learns or not. The image of being under Sean McVay alone, he will get a better job. Absolutely. If the Rams do the same exact thing,
that man gonna get a job.
He's going to get a head coaching job. That's how smart that move is for Cliff. 1,000%. Like, regardless of what he learns or doesn't learn.
Yes.
Public opinion is like, oh, when he interviews, he can say, I'm going to incorporate this, that, and the other. He don't even got to do it for real. He probably won't even do it knowing Cliff. But I'm just saying, like, that alone, with being under the Sean McVay tree, that he's going to get a head coaching job.
Assistant head coach.
He's getting a head coaching job.
But here it is. But you got to also look at it this way too. Mm-hmm. It's twofold that you can look at it. If the Rams don't do well and he's the assistant head coach,
you're right.
The same thing, right? The same thing that can elevate you can bite you in the butt. And now, because you took the league MVP. Let's not forget, Matthew Stafford is a league MVP.
Yeah.
So if the numbers are not what they're supposed to be from this year, and you the assistant head coach and / offensive coordinator, whatever you want to call it, and you done had two back-to-backs where it don't look good.
But let me interject you with that though. Who's calling plays? Who's gonna call plays? For real, let's be real.
McVay will.
Calling the plays.
He's fine in, man. He's the one calling plays. He's fine.
Well, that's the thing.
That's my point. Like
Liam Cohen. He was calling, but he learned from Sean McVay. Sean McVay been calling play. He don't let nobody else call play.
My point is, you're right. Like, but Glenn, to your point, Glenn, I know you're saying, but Sean McVay's calling plays. It ain't clear. Yes. So change on the offense. Like, if we're gonna go off of, we can do the what if game. You're right, Glenn. We can do the what if game. We can, but we're going off of consistency with Sean McVay calling plays. They're not going to slip. And so because I'm not putting difference for me. I'm not saying Cliff is doing anything to make so and so better. I'm not saying that. No. I'm saying that Sean McVay's calling plays. That by alone will make everyone think, what did Cliff learn under Sean McVay? He's under the tree now. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that Cliff is part of the process of help making them better or whatever. I'm saying that Sean McVay's gonna call plays.
Yes.
So real talk in real talk, non-football. If Sean McVay, if their offense struggles, that's really on Sean McVay. But everybody will say, man, it's probably Cliff. But it really would be on Sean McVay because Sean McVay calls the plays. It's always been a Sean McVay thing. Sean McVay's always and since Sean McVay has been in that offense with Matthew Stafford, that offense don't struggle.
Listen, I have been so amazed by what I've learned, right? Like Declan Doyle, who's the Ravens offensive coordinator, he was with the Chicago Bears last year, right?
Yes.
the Bears, Ben Johnson
yeah.
talked so lovely about Declan Doyle today, right? But guess what? Declan Doyle didn't call any plays last year.
Yeah.
He
Ben
got
Johnson
a
does.
coordinator job with Jesse Minter at the Baltimore. He didn't call one play. You want to know why? Because Ben Johnson called the plays.
Because it looks good.
I really want to help the fan base understand these people are not, you're in a position, but you're not calling the plays. That was the thing that made it so interesting. Right now, he's going to call the plays this year, but guess what? Jesse Minter, the head coach of the Baltimore Ravens, let's give an example. Jesse Minter, the head coach of the Baltimore Ravens, he's a defensive coordinator. That's what he did with the Chargers. Guess what? They got Anthony Weaver as the defensive coordinator in Baltimore. Anthony Weaver will not
be called defensive players.
They let it be very, very clear. Jesse Minter is the head coach. He will call the defensive plays. Look what happened with Mike McDonald.
He calls the plays in Seattle.
He calls the plays.
Yeah.
So people don't. We were understanding now. This is different.
Yeah.
This is very, very different. Or this has been happening, and we all just didn't know because we had the coordinator roles, and when we think people calling plays, no, they're not.
Yeah, it just depends. Yeah.
And Liam Cohen.
Yeah.
Liam Cohen. He was working with Sean McVay.
Yeah.
He was with the Rams. He's over there at the Jags, calls plays.
Yeah, it just depends.
Coming in these positions, and I'm gonna give you this role because it's gonna help you get another role. Yeah. But I'm gonna call these plays. That's what's happening here.
It just depends on like if you got one of the master coaches in that position, you know, at the head coaching job. We know that Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan, they're not giving up play calling because they're just too good at it. Like, you know, Mike McDonald is too good at defense. You know what I mean? So, but the expectation is for them to call the defense, though. That's the expectation for them to do it, though. You know what I mean? So it's just like for me, and that's the thing. Like that's what makes Washington's situation a little bit different, right? Like the coordinator isn't really under. He's got other guys under. He's been under trees, but he hasn't been directly under like said person thoroughly. Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's why it's like, well,
that's what is different. That's what makes it different from the other situations.
And not to be messy.
Yeah.
But being messy, well, Dan Quinn, why you didn't call the plays? Why did you call? If Jesse Minter is just our head coach, Anthony Weaver has been a defensive coordinator before. He was a defensive coordinator with the Miami Dolphins. So you're gonna come back to Baltimore, and Jesse Minter is very clear. I'm calling.
Agreed.
Yeah, Andy Reid been doing it. It's been a method amongst winning teams.
It's been everything.
Careful and really look at what the method is against winning teams. There's a lot to be discussed here. There's a lot to be discussed. And all I'm saying, and let me go back to the really quick, Glenn, not to cut you off. I think it is a very important point amongst the league conversation about Cliff being dealt a bad hand because Jaden Daniels was hurt.
Yeah.
And him being the assistant head coach behind Sean McVay.
Go, Glenn.
We talked about this a couple of weeks ago, right? You're not built, and this has always been my opinion. You're not dealt a bad hand when you don't listen to the head guy, right? When you don't listen to the head man, you're not dealt a bad hand. That means you thought you was bigger than the system, right? Your system was bigger than Jaden, and we proved that the system wasn't. See, Dan, we talked about it. Cliff Kingsbury, his tenure in Washington, did it rely on Jaden Daniels? Yes. But if your system is your system, then everybody should run it. If you're a good teacher in your system, whether Jaden there or not, the next man up, because remember, the philosophy of this team has always been next man up, right?
Yeah.
This is the next man up. So the next man up should be able to run what you do. Now, we all point back to the Minnesota game. We all point back to those things. But again, people stop believing in Cliff Kingsbury's system. I'm sorry. It is what it is.
Well, I will say this.
When they couldn't run the football, when this team could not run the football and the football stopped, the belief in Cliff Kingsbury stopped, because we talked about the numbers a couple of weeks ago in a couple of shows. Offensive productivity has gone down, right? So even when go back to prior year when Jaden was hurt, Marcus still put up the numbers, right? So what happened was, what that tells me as a guy watching or looking at it, the league started to figure out the Cliff Kingsbury system, and he could not adjust. Mm-hmm. And so he couldn't adjust to what was going on and change it. Now, he could maybe learn something from Sean McVay. sometimes you gotta let people move on, right? Every plant sometimes outgrows its pot. Let's be for real. Cliff, this was never a long-term thing for Cliff to be in Washington.
Yeah, it wasn't.
This wasn't a long-term thing. Cliff wanted to go after the first year, and the job didn't open. The job that he wanted didn't open up.
Yeah.
Listen, I say all the time, you gotta answer the multiple stakeholder groups, and multiple stakeholder groups feel different things.
Facts.
All I'm saying is a stakeholder group that feels like he got dealt a bad hand.
I see it.
Now to the
And
point
they're wrong.
of Brian Johnson, I want to say something very clearly with Brian Johnson. You all have never heard me say that if Cliff left, Brian Johnson would be the offensive coordinator of this team.
I figured he was gonna go with Cliff.
I'm telling everybody for well over a year.
Yeah.
That if Cliff Kingsbury left, but we all assumed he would leave because for a head coach, to you all's point.
Yeah.
I always said it was going to be David Blau. And that's all I'll say about that.
And Brian Johnson's in the Rams too, right?
Yep.
Yes.
I figured, I thought they were a package deal regardless. I ain't gonna hold you. I thought it was a package deal. I thought they were leaving together, to be honest with you. I thought they were going to whoever they were going, they're going to be together.
Yep.
So I wasn't surprised. But back to the I only want us to go back to the combine. So in terms of so the offensive coordinator's not there, right? Blau's not down there, right? The coordinators don't there.
That's been a thing that Dan Quinn has done. The coordinators don't come, coaches don't come. It's Dan Quinn and the scouts, and Adam Peters is here.
Did Adam Peters talk about how I know we just talked about receivers and whatnot. Was there any question about how Adam Peters was going to try to make life easy for David Blau during for draft prospects or free agency, like what he would need to obviously last year the whole talk was Cliff wanted Connolly, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Was there anything like that? Was there anything like that? Was there anything like that? Was there anything mentioned like that today?
Yeah, they're going to still be very collaborative. They're going to still do the same thing. Ain't nothing going to change from that point. They're still very active in the conversation. And when they speak to prospects, they're on the Zoom. Yeah.
All right, so just getting the word, you mentioned a few players, but is there anybody that's you've been walking around seeing different circles? Is there anybody that it looks like Washington's enamored with the most? Or is it everything you just can't tell?
You can't tell.
Okay.
They kept it consistent with that.
Okay.
They kept it consistent. They poker face all the time.
Okay. Y'all got any questions for Candi? George?
Yeah, y'all got any questions for me?
Yeah, anybody in the chat? Y'all got any questions?
I know that
anybody in the chat too. Any questions for Candi? Let us know too. But go ahead, George.
I doubt that this was asked, but I'm curious that given the problems that we had so many problems with injuries last year, do you think a free agent or a potential draft prospect's injury history is going to become more of a factor for Adam Peters?
Yes. Okay. I think the experiment, I could be wrong, right? I could absolutely be wrong, but I think the experiment of bringing in people who have injury history or have been injured is over.
Yes, Noah Brown's not coming back.
Yo.
I'm just asking a question. I'm just asking a question. I'm just saying. We talking about injury history. I'm just making sure. I'm asking a question. I'm just saying.
I think they're looking at durability.
Okay. All right. DQ made a point to say BJ was assistant head coach in order to give him a chance to learn how to be a head coach. It was by design, developmental. Here, question here you go. You think they bring back Burks and Drake Jackson?
Maybe they bring them back for just competition purposes.
Yeah, that's a very good question. Jeremy, can I answer your question too? They better. They lack talent. They got a bunch of talented young. These are former first rounders. I think it'd be beneficial for them to bring them in. It's just to keep them, just to see what they can do. You know what I'm saying? We saw what Burks. We saw what Burks can do last year. We saw we saw potential. I feel like if you saw a draft pick like that, an early draft pick, and you give that person that opportunity, they do that. You're talking about him in a totally different way. He's still young. He has the ability, he has size. He has something this team does not have to offer. I hope so. Jeremy has a question. Says, do you have faith Peters can come out of this draft with pieces that can contribute in 2026?
I mean, yeah, absolutely, because he had pieces that contributed in the other two drafts. I mean, I'm not going to sit up here and act like the two drafts have been a bust because they haven't been.
We got.
Okay, I'm going to be very honest. I mean, we got, they have not been. I mean, you got Jaden Daniels out of one of these drafts, and then you get into like Mikey Samerstill. Mikey Samerstill was a bad scheme. I'm just going to say it because I can say it now because I can.
Yeah.
Not good scheme. Okay. We got to see what Ben Sinnott can do. That could have been one of the challenges with Cliff, right? Ben Sinnott do. There might be a challenge. You might start thinking about it when it comes to Brandon Coleman, right? Because
I think should be fine.
But then Chris Paul beat him out of his job, right? In his second year. That reigns a question. I think we still need to see more with Johnny Newton. You saw a bit of Johnny Newton. Right, we got to see more Jordan McGee. You kind of see what he can do now. Hey, I've always said Dominique Hampton got released and nobody's picked him up. That was not good, right? Javonte Baptiste got injured last year, but you started to see him trend upward. And then last year, you saw something almost out of 4 of the 5 draft picks that they had, other than Kane Madrano. But as the season went on, you saw more of Kane from a special teams perspective. Yeah. So I can't say that these last 2 drafts have been bust. I absolutely believe that they're going to find some people that fit because you've seen things that fit. Now the scheme, the coordinators, what they need to do is they need to bring them in. That's what you got to do and really use them to their skill set. That's the challenge there. So yeah, I don't have no issues with it.
No, it's not me. I just want to put out this question for Deluxe, and then Glenn, you can go after Candy answers this one. Says how upset will some fans be if both Wagner and Lattimore are back?
I can see them being upset about Lattimore, but if you upset about Bobby Wagner, I don't get that. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't understand him. I would not understand it at all about him, about anybody being upset about him being back. Let me tell you something. If you love Terry McLaurin, you need to love Bobby Wagner. If you love Jaden Daniels, you need to love Bobby Wagner. Okay, and I'm gonna tell you that straight up 1,000%. Okay, and I don't understand what the hate is. I don't even get it, honestly. And when you're talking about the fact of when there was a point in time where there was absolutely no leaders in the room, and this has nothing to do. Okay, don't do 100% of the snaps. All right, but when you're talking about somebody that has the ability to make people sign, to make people persevere and still have a positive outlook on their situation, that is Bobby Wagner. And that's why I'm like, come on. I don't know what the hate is around that man. I really don't. But it's kind of like, okay, so just don't play 100% of the snaps. All right. And dealing in a horrible scheme crafted by Joe Witt Jr. that put way more on him than was even needed or necessary, because you had people that could have, you know what I mean? I always talk about the regression of Mikey Samerstill. I always talk about that. Mikey Samerstill, Frankie Louvu, Quan Martin. And I sometimes forget about the regression of Tyler Owens. Tyler Owens, undrafted rookie his first year, then came back. You didn't see him no more. And then you continue to hear Dan Quinn talk about relentlessly teaching. What happened to Tyler? Right? And so it's like, come on. And so Bobby's getting this hate because of what? When at the end of the day, when you look at Bobby, when you look at the numbers, he was like the top performing defensive person on the team. Now, you can look at that as a kudo, but you can also look at that as a flaw. And that's a flaw in your scheme. Because why is this, you know what I mean? Tried and true, right? We're talking about, I said this before. Okay, young and talented. Yeah, they're young and talented, but why he's the only one that knows how to tackle him and Von Miller, truth be told, and how they know to get to the quarterback, because that was a time period when they came up in this sport where that was essential to success of defense, right? Knowing how to tackle, knowing how to get to the quarterback. And both of them were operating in situations where they should not have been. And that doesn't necessarily mean that they don't know that, right? But I don't really get. I mean, I can kind of see why people would be pissed off about Marshawn, but the man of the year, understanding what he has contributed to those men. You've heard these players that everybody loves so much talk highly of Bobby Wagner, but everybody hate on him. It doesn't make sense. And I will continue to tell people that you better be careful what you say, because there's too many of them that be on the internet. And if you gonna go against a player that they love and know what they put into that locker room, you might want to be careful on that.
Hey, Candi, I mean, here's the thing. I like Bobby Wagner, but there's a come a point in time, right, when you mentioned it before we even got on the Bobby Wagner thing. You named Madrano, you talked about McGee. Those guys need to get, if he's going to be a teacher, he needs to be teaching them to take over his job, right? Again, I don't think Bobby, the hate is not 99. The hate is not 100% of the snaps or the snap. It's key situations where we talked about scheme, where the offense picked on the scheme and no one changed it, right? The offense knew who to pick on, and it wasn't changed. To me, that's Dan Quinn, right? Yes. I know we know that Joe Witt gets the scapegoat, but we know every week we watch film and we know that running backs out of the backfield and tight ends give Bobby Wagner trouble. Why am I still scheming the same scheme each and every week? And it's week 17, and we got to do it. So again, I think that's the fans' frustration with Bobby Wagner, because what the scheme they put him in made him look like he can't play. Now, here the defensive scheme that he's coming in this year, what is kind of good for tackling. But the question that people have to raise or have to ask in this thing is, if Bobby plays 100% of the snaps, how does a Madrano grow? How does a McGee grow? How does those other linebackers get better if you have a guy who let's be honest, he is Asian. To me, the man of the year, that's not football related to me. We talk about what happens between the sticks, and then the sticks last year, love him or hate him, he was a liability to this team. And the liability, he had the most tackles. He had the most tackles. And we go back and break down numbers on third downs. How many third downs was achieved? How many first downs was achieved on Bobby Wagner that came out of the back?
You talking about in coverage? You talking about in coverage, right?
In coverage, he was a liability.
But Gillian, let me tell you, in coverage, all of them are liabilities. The whole linebacker core isn't good in coverage. And if you take a look at the NFL, across the NFL, that in coverage, comment what you're saying, what we're seeing from a linebacker position perspective, that is a challenge across the league. That is why there's so much emphasis about what happens at the line of scrimmage.
Right. But sometimes
let me say this though. This is the truth though, and this is what it is. All right. It depends on what you're and it's important. It depends on what you want to accomplish defensively as a unit. And what I mean by that is, and it goes both ways. It goes both ways though. It goes both ways. What I mean by that is, if you're wanting to be an elite defense, the blueprint is out there. What type of middle linebacker you need? I'm being real. The blueprint is out there, and right now at this stage of his career, and we're talking about, you can look at Seattle, you want to look at the Texans. They're a particular type of linebacker, and the Mike linebacker, you got to have these attributes, and you got to play at this level. And Bobby at 25 was that linebacker. At 25, at this age, he's not the same linebacker as those dudes, those positions. If you look at all the elite defenses, everybody go look at them up and look at those. Forget age. I'm not looking at age or nothing. I'm saying look at those dudes up and look at what they are, what they're running, how they're running, how they play in coverage, all of that. If you want to be a top 5 defense, you look at New England, look at all of them. Look at the situation. If you want to be a top 5 defense, it's out. The blueprint is out there. Now it depends on what you want to do, how you want to cultivate your team. If you want to be a top 5, if you want to be a top 5 defense, you should copy that moniker. You should copy that. If you don't want to be that, then if you want to be a certain other style of defense, then go that route. But I'm just saying, like, if you're looking at from the Texans to the Patriots, look at obviously the Seahawks. There is a particular style of linebacking core, not just linebacking core as a whole, as a whole. And you want to copy that. If you're gonna keep it this way, then be prepared, regardless of it is. Be prepared to deal with some of those shortcomings because that's what it's going to be.
Like,
to be
here's
real
the
with you.
reality again. I'm a person who looks at the numbers across the league.
Yeah.
Across the middle, linebackers are getting torn down, as are safeties in middle coverage, in the middle of the field. That second level is something, an area. Coverage of tight ends is it's a deficit right now.
Yeah.
And when you talk about the top 5 defenses, to your point, what are they doing? What does Seattle do? What do the Texans do? What do the Patriots do?
Yeah.
They get to your quarterback.
Yeah.
The Commanders are not getting to the quarterback. They're not.
I would say this. I would say this too though. Like
he shouldn't even be in coverage. But guess who else isn't good in coverage? Frankie.
I know. Yes, I'm saying it's a whole. That's what I'm saying. As a whole, like they're always. But if you're gonna, this is the thing in today's NFL. Like you're right. But as a whole, if you're gonna be a top 5, the top defenses. Again, the top defenses, not the lower tier. The top defenses. There's a reason why the Niners defense went down when Warner went down because he can cover. There's a reason why their defense they can be around because it's like you
but
still
that's Fred Warner.
I know what I'm saying. Like there's levels. Like there are a bunch. Like there are run flowing. Like the Vikings line, they're the type of line. You're right, your boy Candi. Like across the board, if you get isolated with like a Bijan Robinson linebacker, you're gonna lose that situation. So I don't put that in anybody.
Right.
But I'm just saying that. But if you're going to look at just in the fairest situation, look at characteristics of said linebackers, and this is being fair for anybody. If you want to look at your linebackers and being a top whatever defense, look at the top 5 defenses and look at the middle the Mike linebacker, and then compare your Mike linebacker to those said players, and then you can really have the discussion where you feel like they are. Because your Mike linebacker, the thing about it is your Mike linebacker is going to be out there all the time. That's the problem. Like he's going to, if you're the Mike linebacker, you're going to be out there. So Bobby has to be out there. So he's going to have to be in coverage.
Or you got to really see, because I literally, and this is exactly why, and this is why I'm going to be like, okay, now I'm about to start being hard on the fan base and everybody else, because this is why I give information and I ask the questions that I do. When I asked Jordan McGee a whole question about Bobby, he sat up there at the exit interview and told me, I already knew this.
Yeah.
But what did he say? Bobby put me on a regimen.
Yeah,
I do what Bobby does. That is all your clues that you need to know. Okay, this doesn't mean the man needs to go. That means he's helping these people. The scheme is the problem. Listen, Bobby ain't gonna tell them people, I ain't going out there no more. Now I will tell you what is an issue. The fact that he still had 100% of the snaps. But you still got these numbers and you aging. And you got these numbers by far, that is an issue. Now, we mentioned Kane Madrano. You even heard me talk about Kane Madrano when it came to the Atlanta Falcons and somebody being fast enough to catch Bijan. I said, if anybody is fast enough to catch Bijan, maybe it's Tyler, maybe it's Kane. Neither one of them out there. But what else do we know about Kane based on his draft analysis and what came out of him from college? He had a problem with tackling.
He can't tackle.
So now I'm going to question, what is he even doing here? You want him? Maybe you want him here because he is Nick Bellor's backup, right? But that's still a challenge on special teams, right? Because you got to be able to know how to tackle. And so that's what I'm going to continue to say. You got to look at this from a league perspective. We're going to continue to talk about Fred Warner, rightfully so. But when you talk about units, when we talk about Fred Warner, one player, when you're talking about these units, they got a quarterback on the ground. And the Commanders have not been able to get they don't have a game record. They don't have you can't expect Bobby to be a game record. They don't have a game record. Bobby can stay. Like, you don't just have to get people out of the door. And then as soon as you leave, you're gonna be like, what happened to Bobby Wagner? Come on, man. Like, yes, he can go for sure. But then it's like, well, then who? Because can anybody say with confidence that Jordan can do it?
No one knows. That's a good question.
Nobody knows. And that's a problem because we saw him enough last season to be able to answer that question. We saw him enough last season to be able to answer that question.
Well,
and so that's my challenge with the whole scenario. Like, I think that there's a displaced challenge because he's older. And while you may say that the man of the year doesn't matter, I would strongly encourage you to change that mentality, because the NFL, that is the most prestigious award that an individual player can get, because it's not just about community. It is what you do in your locker room, it is what you do on the field, and it is what you do in the community.
What I got a question. We like I talk about
want to be like really challenge the fan base and everybody to really think through, because here's the challenge. I'm not sure if the leadership and the coaching staff has got this down yet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's the problem, because I remember when they were NFC Championship and Super Bowl bound, everybody couldn't wait to see Bobby Wagner.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody loved Bobby Wagner. And guess what? It looked the same. And that's why I'm like, okay, now it's bad, and now he's the culprit. Come on, y'all. I can give you Marshawn. But like, you got to. It's something here with the scheme. I'm not saying he's coming back. Let me be clear on that. I'm not saying he's coming back. But what I am saying is, it's unproven. And I said this on the last time I was on the show.
Mm-hmm.
But this is now unproven, and we got to get to the bottom of why. And if they can't get to the quarterback, you dead in the water anyway.
Yeah, like Deluxe said, Madrano is typically a sixth-round pick, high upside that has cons against him. Definitely draft him with hope of coaching him up. If it doesn't take, you move on. They're definitely not gonna find a prospect in the sixth round. Totally agree with that.
That's right.
And Wale had talked about it. He can't tackle. Oh, you got a linebacker that can't tackle? What we doing?
No, he's a special teamer. That's why I look at him. I look at him as a linebacker. He's a special teamer. I do want to, like, you talked about Mikey a little bit. Was there any discussion about Mikey at the combine?
Nope.
Damn. All right. You know what? I think I'm all combined out.
I'm all combined out myself, and it's going to be a big week. It's going to be a big week because some of the things, like, I've been talking to people about the linebacker, the coverage in the middle, the coverage of the tight ends, and just getting to the quarterback. What I feel like needs to happen, we saw it in the Super Bowl previous year with the Eagles. What made them beast out the way they did? They made Patrick Mahomes have a terrible day.
Yeah.
What did the Seahawks do to make them beast out the way that they made Drake May have a terrible day?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The defensive line, the interior, and the edge rusher. This team doesn't have an edge rusher. We need a consistent edge rush, a consistent pass rush.
Definitely.
They don't have that. And so when we continue to talk about the second and third level of the defense, it's like, but if you don't have it up front, then we're just going to continue to talk in circles. So we got to see them make those improvements up front.
So who's those edge rushers? Who's those edge rushers or those safeties that walk? Because we talked about Seattle's safety play was great in the Super Bowl. They was able to discount some things, and safety there is that seventh pick today. Washington selected the pick today.
Oh, Caleb.
Is that seventh pick? Is that seventh pick Caleb Downs or is it a linebacker? Because I've seen mock draft where it's both.
Yeah.
Well, this is why Sonny Styles keeps coming up.
Correct. And Sonny Styles
this
has
is
been
why
that.
Sonny Styles continues to come up for this team, right? And they say, okay, I've been keep hearing that either Bailey or Bain could drop. I don't know about that, but that, of course, Caleb Downs continues to come up. But you continue to hear, I keep hearing Arvell Reese, and I know Wole, you and I started talking about that. Arvell Reese.
I like him, but Sonny
Styles comes up as well.
I like him. No, I like him. I just feel like I like Reese. I just feel like I didn't what I didn't like in that championship game against Ohio State is that I heard more about Caleb Downs and Bain more than I heard about Reese in that game. Like, and that's a game you need. And all I heard play when I was watching that game, I saw Bain. Like, Bain stood out to me, and Caleb Downs stood out to me. The rest, the others were like, okay, they were just there. But yeah, you can't deny it. His thing is going to be the 40 time when he runs. Once he runs a good 40 time, he's going to be a guy that everybody wants. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, Glenn. I got one IG comment from Samaj Be Good says we need to make them a priority to draft linebackers, CJ Allen or Anthony Hill Jr. in this draft because we need one of these guys who's just as good as Sonny Styles. Okay, all right. I'm gonna check him out, bro. I'm gonna check him out.
Yeah,
go ahead. Go ahead, Glenn.
Yeah, I think if you at 7, and we always talk about here the best player, I think the best player at 7 would be Caleb Downs because of what this defense is trying to do at 7. Because again, you got a young guy who's willing to come down here who plays lights out on the field, which helps your corners out. When we talk about Mikey, maybe Mikey go into his right position and go into outside, go into the slot. But so you see those when you have somebody that you can trust in the back, everything else pans out because we talk about the guys up front, right? You have Washington, if they stay true to what they done, the Newtons come back, your Kinlaws come back, your Deron Paynes, you have a front that will help you according with whatever defense, with the 3-4 defense that you want to run. The question is who goes to nose, right? And that can be bless you. That can be debatable throughout the whole season. That can be debatable up to the training camp or OTAs who plays that nose position. Kinlaw is a fit for that nose, but again, Payne can play it as well. So when you have the front covered in the back, because we saw a lot of it could be scheme related. We saw a lot of confusion in the back of that secondary last year, right? Until Will Harris came back. But again, if you're trying to get, as Adam Peters said today, if you're trying to get younger and faster, you get younger and faster in the draft pick. You don't get younger and draft faster in free agency unless those guys are out there. Yeah. Unless those guys are out there. So again, to me, I think Caleb Downs is the key at there. And again, I'm just going by Adam Peters. You want to get younger and faster, and I think that's younger and faster across the board at safety, D-line, whole interior as much as you can in free agency and draft.
And go for it. Based on the scheme, this past year, Frankie, I'm gonna keep going back to them. Frankie, Quan, Mikey. Pull Tyler Owens back in there because I'm like, you know what? I keep taking all people.
He was bad. I ain't gonna hold you. Tyler was bad, bro. Tyler was bad, man. Tyler was bad. He was bad. Now, I don't want him back out there. I don't even want him out there. I ain't gonna lie to you. I saw enough. Like he fast.
But Tyler was not like that in his rookie season.
Well, he barely played. Like he didn't really get a chance to play like that. He did it only in camp.
He was bad, but I was just like, what happened? But okay, let's go with the other 3. He was right, but it's like you go with the other 3, and it's like correct scheme. Used in a specific way. Maybe there's so much conversation we're not having right now. Yeah, the Bobby Wagner conversation ain't happening at all. If those 3 are doing anything even close to what they did in the first season of this staff, we not having that conversation. And it's just like it's. And I think that's why DQ. You talk about the relentlessly teaching. I have other things to think about that, quite frankly, but like. Is something we got to see because let me also go back to this. Everybody talking about Bobby. Well, it doesn't sound like they're gonna make a change with some of the other people either. You feel me? Yeah. Maybe with him, and that could be a mutual decision. Let's also be clear on that. Yeah. But it doesn't sound like other people are not coming back. You feel you?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, I got you.
So, this is going to be interesting because it sounds like it was a scheme challenge, but
Mikey's girlfriend pretty much said it was a scheme challenge.
Well, yeah. Well, for him specifically,
it said for him. Yeah. For him, she said this for him.
Put him back outside.
Yeah, she said.
But but there's also reason to believe. I mean, we get Marshawn. It's a little like Adam said today. We're going to Marshawn. It's a little complex to that, and I can confirm it is.
Yeah. Because the money.
As soon as they put him in press man coverage, what he is actually good at. But it was weird. It was strange what happened last year.
No, last year was strange. The whole coaching defense, the whole coaching defense was strange. Deluxe, I like this question. So pick one that has more impact this year. Owens, Medrano, Jean Baptiste. That's easy. Baptiste. Baptiste by far. Baptiste has, to Baptiste's credit, he has shown ability when
he was trending.
He has shown it. Yes, agreed.
He got that torn pec in week 4 with the Atlanta Falcons, but he was trending all the way.
And for 2 years, for like even his rookie year, he's shown something. Like he has shown something. I'm gonna give him his flowers. That was actually a good late pick. He was actually a really good late pick for me.
Yeah.
I think there's high upside with him. Like high upside with him.
That's why I said it's not a bust. These two drafts haven't been a bust. Everybody, they haven't been a bust. They've been some picks. It's been a bust.
Let's see. We got Tyler Owens is the Luke McCaffrey of the defense.
That's a little harsh. That is a little.
You know what? I ain't gonna lie to you. I was a pro to Tyler Owens, so I saw him play last year. I was like, yo, he looked lost.
It's bad.
That's not even like. We got a question. Question for Glenn. Jeremy got a question for you, Glenn. So your GM, what is your first order of business outside of the draft? This for you, Glenn.
Even for me, first order of business outside of the draft. Make sure I shore up my offensive. Well, outside of the draft, make sure my offensive line is shored up. First of all, because again, you have to be able to protect. You have to protect your franchise quarterback, right? So that's outside of the draft. So I'm getting any free agent that comes in, and who can protect Jaden. I'm looking at a backup center. If I'm him, right? My first thing is a backup center because the center you do need a backup center. Also, what I'm looking at too is. My other thing outside the draft I'm looking at too is what edge rushers I can get who are not older but have been proven in the game, right? And what economic thing I can do as well. So that's what I'm looking at as a GM. And also I'm looking at too, if I know my head coach is on the hot seat, I'm looking at who can my replacement be. Because let's be honest, I'm putting that in my back pocket. I may not tell anybody about it, but I'm looking at in the middle. If something happens to Dan Quinn, or we gotta shift this thing by week 4, week 5. Which way am I going?
I hope it's not that serious. That's a good one.
Anthony Lynn,
you got a question. Paul got a question for you, Candy. Candy, with the re-signing of Wiley, will they keep Paul or let Coleman compete at guard?
Let me tell you. Today, and I think it might have been John Comm asked about Chris Paul on the sides from. There's another one that I'm like, what is going on here? They were really proud of him, happy how he competed, love what he did. This is that fair, but I didn't get, and it could have been by design, right? I just didn't get the sense of anybody of we got to resign, other than Laramie Tunsil, right? Or didn't get that sense. I don't
like that. See, I don't like that. That I don't like.
I'm with you. All the things Paul did to win the job and then keep the job.
Well, that's
a tough one if they let him go to free agency and he gets signed away. Because I think everybody else has seen his tape.
He looks elite.
Think this is a guy that we can work with.
He looks elite. Now he don't look where he looks elite. That's the problem. The problem is he blocked so well. Like I'm gonna keep saying it. Coleman didn't get benched, in my opinion, because he was bad. He got benched because Chris Paul was that good.
Here. That good, and
that's the problem I'm having.
Talk to people, and I talk to people who I know wouldn't BS me, and Brandon didn't do anything wrong other than out of his job. He got
outplayed, and sometimes the better like when someone is better, like it's not sometimes, but it's not politics. Sometimes there's politics. Somebody's just you're still good. But the other, and we saw, and the thing about it is, if as fans, if we didn't see signs of it in preseason, we would think that Brandon Coleman just like looked bad or whatever. But Chris Paul played really good in preseason too. Like we've seen it. Like he was setting a tone. And like if you're like, I'm a reward. This is what I gave the coaching staff credit. Actually, to be honest with you, I gave him credit because I felt like if you saw that Chris Paul was outplaying him because he was playing at such a high level, and you started him over Brandon Coleman, and it's still and during the season it worked out where he was one of your better offensive linemen. Period. Then I'm gonna give you credit as a team to play the better player. That situation I gave him credit because Brandon Coleman wasn't bad to me at guard. Like when I watched him play, he wasn't bad at all.
Yeah, no. But when it's a good problem to have, right? When you have guys outplaying each other, because you push it because they push each other. Again,
yes.
We go back to what Dan Quinn says: the competition, right?
Yeah.
When you want the cup, You want the competition. You want your backup to be just as good as your starter, right? Or because when the backup, if the starter goes down, you don't miss a beat. Offense can trust each other, right?
Yeah.
They can trust Chris Paul. They can trust Coleman. And if you know Coleman is that guy, the backup to so now Coleman needs to become the utility guy and be able to back up everybody on the line. You got to have that guy as well as two in your back pocket. That offensive lineman that knows everybody's position and can play everything. So again, if he's that good, if somebody beats you out, they beat you out. That's where the depth come in at. Sure. We've seen many years where Washington didn't have the depth at offensive line. So you want the depth at the offensive line. You put all your stock in the young guy because because he was your Connolly, because he was your first round pick. Get it. He got better as the years progressed on, right? He got much better than he was at the beginning. So again, that offensive line thing is very key to Washington. So again, you want guys who will compete. Again, competition makes everybody better. I would never knock any competition. I like Coleman, but if Coleman is competing every week to try to get a starting job, he's pushing Paul. That means Paul's get better. Let's be honest. The year before, we was talking about Paul and Wiley not being that good.
Yeah, that's true. And I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna add this to your point. This is the thing, like for me, and I'm gonna say it now. This is where I think politics does play a part, but it's your first round pick, so I get it. If you told me out of tackle position, just tackle, forget position left or right, but just say tackle position. Brandon Coleman's rookie year was better than Conley's rookie year.
Yep.
Tackle for tackle. Tackle for tackle. Tackle for tackle. So that's why
longevity of the season.
Yeah, longevity of the season. He held up. So the only time he struggled is when he got hurt. I mean, real. Like that's when Brandon Coleman started really struggling as in pass pro. So I'm just saying, like, that's the only thing that's why to me, I like to the deluxe says Coleman has a lot of ability, higher up. He's a higher upside. And I agree that he has a big upside, but I would say this, that like he's had to move the guard. You know what I mean? And Paul, to me, I think Paul's a better guard than Coleman. And it's not even, and I think Paul is an elite guard, to be not even a good. I think Paul's an elite guard. And that's why I want Washington to keep him. But to me, the question is, like, if we're talking about real competition from tackle to tackle, the real question is, if it's a true competition, and Tunsil's the booking, they extend Tunsil. Tunsil's a booking to a point when we saw Coleman come in for Tunsil when Tunsil was down. Coleman played well to left tackle too when he came in.
Correct.
That he's versatile. He's very versatile. Yeah. So, like, if it's a real competition, I know you drafted him as your first round pick. If it's a real competition for competition, if he's that good at protecting at tackle, like at the left side, because to me, left side is harder than right side, in my opinion. I'm just going to be keeping a bean for you. I would like to see if it's a real competition and Connolly's struggling, or not. I'm not saying he got better, but definitely got better. But depending on who you talk to, some people are really low on him, some people are real high on him. I think he'll get better when he puts more weight on him. But we'll see. I do think I'm still a believer in Coleman, but also I think that Coleman, if he was getting a true fair shake, he would get an opportunity. He would have gotten an opportunity at right tackle too, though. If he was getting a real fair shake, he would have gotten an opportunity at right tackle. I don't think he got the real. I don't think. And Candi, you were there. I don't know if he did get a fair shake at right tackle, or Connolly was just already he won that job pretty easily. If he got a fair shake, I would be interested to see. Like, I think he could. If he didn't get a fair shake, then I would think that he could have beaten out Connolly. To be honest with you.
Yeah, and it is gonna be interesting. I see the comment here about the run game. It's gonna be interesting what happens there too. You know what I mean? Like all these, like I'm thinking about who has been drafted. To you all's point, Brandon Coleman, because that is a real topic that I think is flying under the radar. Right? Rookie year at left tackle, team went to the NFC Championship.
He was good at tackle, man. He was good
hit the boot guard. You got beat out of the guard, right? But you got beat out of the guard. You weren't a guard before. You know what I mean? You had to. I mean, is it not similar to what Mikey had to deal with? I don't know, because that's like, isn't it similar to what Mikey had to deal with, right? And I'm like, really, because I feel like they just put Mikey in the wrong spot. You know what I mean? Like Mikey didn't get beat out of anything. It's just weird. It's strange. But at any rate, because it's like, well, what was the purpose of even bringing Laramie in unless you thought that Brandon needed to move somewhere? Because at one point, remember, I thought that Brandon was moving to right.
I thought so too. That's what I'm saying. That's my point. Yeah. That's why I was like, when they drafted Connolly, I was like, wow. I mean,
y'all said it earlier. It was something that Cliff wanted, right? So if you got so if you have something that your OC wants, right, something to make your team better, your OC is gonna put in there, hey, I want this kid, because again, Cliff doesn't want to make it look like we drafted him, or hey, everybody in that organization, Dan Quinn, Adam Peters, this whole draft room decided to draft, because this is the narrative they're giving us, decided to draft Connolly. So if you draft Connolly, you have to justify your first round pick being your starter, because your first round pick for this year can't be the bench guy, right? It can't be, unless Coleman is that much better than Connolly. If they somewhere on the same line, you have to play the young guy that you drafted for your fan base.
Yeah, I agree. I think, but see, my point is, I don't think they ever had the competition. That's my thing. I don't think they ever really had competition. And like to Trinity, it was Connolly a right tackle in college. Now he was a left tackle in college. He played left. But again, I think Coleman played left tackle and he played left tackle in college.
Yeah. So that's a conversation that is definitely that's a topic. Offensive line.
Yeah.
Specifically with Brandon Coleman.
Yeah.
It's flying under the radar because we still don't know. And that's a draft pick, right?
Yeah.
He did have a great rookie season. I was not.
But this is why I want to answer this question. This is why I asked Candi, like, did they even try right tackle or left tackle?
I don't know.
Yeah, this is why I asked her, and I'm because she was in camp, so she got to see it. She would get a chance to see it if they did try it. And I'm gonna be real with you, and this is like the truest sense for real. And everybody, y'all know this if you watch football, the toughest side to block for a right-handed quarterback is the left side, because that's the blind side, right?
Right.
So especially you got a mobile quarterback. So I would refuse, and let me be real with you, I refuse to think from what Brandon Coleman did on the left side, he couldn't do on the right side. Because if the rush is getting there, Jaden can see it. You know what I mean? So it's still different. It's not that much. Like, to be honest with you, that's why typically your best tackle goes to your left side. It's not that your best tackle ain't gonna be on your right side.
No.
So when people say that, I'm like, nah, not really. Your best tackle, and if you're really good, you can play either or. To be real with you, you're really good, you can play either. Because John Jansen, when he was here, he would play if Samuels went down, he would go to left. Because he was that good to play both. He just wasn't better than Samuels. He could play both.
It's interesting.
That's what I would say personally. That's my belief when we talk about tackles. Like, it depends how good. Like, I think he could play right tackle. I think he'll be fine at right tackle. I think he'll be pretty fine at right tackle. To be real with you. But you know what? I think it's about time to close this show out.
Yeah, because y'all, and I know we might not stay on later. I actually have to go.
I know we gotta go. I'm saying.
We gotta
go too. We gotta go too.
I'm gonna tell y'all it's a lot of people. Maybe I'm a spoiler alert. I mean, y'all may already have the schedule for tomorrow, but it's a lot. It's a lot of all these draft prospects tomorrow, you all, and they start at 8 in the morning.
Wow. Yeah.
And they're going all the people, all the ones you want to hear from and know more about. They're all going tomorrow, like the defensive line and the linebackers. So y'all want to hear about the defensive line, linebackers. There's a lot of things happening tomorrow. Thursday, the defensive backs and tight ends. Friday, quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, offensive linemen. There's some place kickers. There's some kickers going tomorrow too. That I'm thinking about it. And so it's for availability, but it starts so early, and we got up early, and it was like an all day thing. But at least tomorrow, it's just the first thing in the morning. But this is going to be very interesting, this draft, because it is now a defensive standard out there, and there's so many defensive players that are good, that are very good. I've been hearing a lot about teams that are talking about trading back to get who they want, other players, and getting more picks. So
Mm-hmm.
Well, appreciate y'all. Appreciate everybody for pulling up, man. Appreciate Candi. Candi, before we let
Thank
you go,
you,
man.
guys.
It's a great conversation, you guys. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you,
Wonderful
Candi.
job, Candi.
And
Wonderful
before we
job.
end it, Candi, please let folks know how they can catch Bowie TV's great work, the work you do there, and also like all socials. You know what I'm saying?
No, thank you guys so much. You all make sure you're subscribed to Bowie TV on YouTube. If you're in Prince George's County, Maryland, you can find Bowie TV on Comcast channels 190 and 1097. You can find me on X at CWall SE, Instagram, all the things, Bowie TV Sports across all platforms of Bowie TV. You can find me, Candi Waller. Just Google me, you guys. You can find me. CEO CWall SE. I want to stay on as long as possible, but now I'm like starting to fade. Like, wait.
All right, we about to leave. All right,
we gotta
go, man. Hey, you know what? I'm gonna make it quick. Yeah, peace, everybody. Peace out and blessings. Everybody, take it easy. All right, peace out. We out.